Hey, so it's a beautiful day. Just filming some marketplace pointers, and this video is for my I get this question a lot. For those of us who are in ministry and you want to get your 501c3 status, right? How do you do that? Should you do that? And this video is not going to be long. You know, these are like quick bites and quick reels, but let me tell you, you know, it's still my opinion about whether or not a church should get a 501c3. You know, that's because, you know, people are afraid that they won't be able to preach like they want to be able to preach. That is something that you may want to consider, because everything changes in our government so fast. I think that during this regime, you'll be safe. But we don't know what the future holds, right? We just don't know. But I can say this. It is always good. If you want to have a 501c3 for faith-based purposes, it may be wiser for you to start a community development corporation. That way, you have more flexibility. You have more grant opportunities. You have more funding opportunities, okay? Because if you come across as too churchy, sometimes it will hinder your funding. People, they don't mind faith-based initiatives, but if they feel like you're going to be shoving Jesus down people's throats, that may be a cause for them to pause. But when you start talking about using words like community, you know, and you can prove that you are indeed doing things to benefit the community, you're more likely to be able to raise funds. What a lot of churches do is they actually start like a community development corporation and they have their 501c3 under that community development corporation or an economic development corporation, depending on what it is that your mission is. Like for a church, and if you have a ministry and one of the things that God has given you to do is to build affordable housing, you know, you can go either way. You can community development corporation, economic development corporation. If you want to do workforce training, you know, workforce development, all of those things, you can do that. You can do all of that under your community development corporation and leave the church separate, right? You can file, you know, you incorporate your church as a nonprofit organization, but we're talking about the 501c3 status that you receive from the IRS. That I always recommend that you start a separate entity. That way, your church is your church, your CDC or your EDC is your EDC. I know churches here in the Charlotte area that do that. The Park, for example, they have a community development corporation, and they are building senior housing, and amongst a lot of other things that they do. And they're out here, but that's the way they get the opportunity to share the love of Christ, and without being too churchy, right? But they, at the same time, it gives them flexibility for funding. So, you know, we got to let wisdom be the principal thing in all things. So, and you know, so that right there is my tip for the day for ministries who are considering getting their 501c3. It's all in the wording, it's all in semantics, you know, but let wisdom be the principal thing. All right, y'all have a good day. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.